master's, and I had not, understood anything about, about the defense industry. But 1.5 years in, I was inside the Pentagon getting my badge to get my first job pretty much in the government. So I got a job running a program called the Mentor Protege Program for the Department of Defense at the Pentagon. And, now it's been 16 years. I am now on the private sector side, and I've been working for GRS now for about 10 years. And one of the things was this opportunity that I realized working in the Department of Defense. We all come in and we've had internship programs over the years as part of our company. But what we were providing was administrative. You know how internships go, make a couple of copies. Hey, go sit with this person, maybe look over this document, things that, really are beneficial on an administrative level, but doesn't give you a career. So what we have today is an internship program that gives you a career, where you can build and you can work from anywhere. So you can work being in the home state that you're in, and what you get out of it is an opportunity to actually join a company or start your own business, or just all three of, all the team together, just all three of you starting your own through this internship program. So a little bit about GRS, Global Resource Solutions. Our owner is a retired lieutenant colonel. He came out of the Defense Intelligence Agency. He was at the Pentagon for many years. He is, of course, a Southern University graduate. His wife is a Southern University graduate. And for the last 10 years, when we started the Mentor Protege program, we have utilized and worked with Southern for my contracts. And I run the program. I'm the director for the Mentor Protege program at Global Resource Solutions. And we utilize Southern University. Over the years, we've used the university for research, for training, everything from ISO, cybersecurity. We used to do penetration testing. We worked with Baton Rouge robotics department many years back when you guys had a wonderful program over there. We currently worked with SUNO, Southern University, New Orleans. And obviously, we currently work with SUSLA, which is Southern University, Shreveport. So Global Resource Solutions is a government contractor. So let me give you a little background before I go into GRS. What is the government contracting? So the Department of Defense and the federal government every year puts out thousands, it's hundreds and hundreds of contracts out into the world, asking for private sector companies and sometimes individuals to come in and help them get something done that they cannot do themselves. So what that means is, if they have an opportunity or they have something that they need done that the government does not have the person or the team or the capability to do, they'll put it out there. They'll put it out to say, hey guys, we are looking for this piece of work. We need somebody to help us do this particular piece of work, or we want to buy this particular piece of equipment, or we want somebody to come in and integrate something for us. So they put it out. And there are companies like ours all across Washington, D.C. and the United States that bid on those. So we actually put in proposals saying, you know what, we can do that work. So either we've done it in the past or we worked with other companies that have done it in the past. But we basically then submit essentially a presentation, a proposal with documentation saying, look, we can do this work, and here's our background, and here's how we did it in the past, here's how we can do it for you, and we provide the cost of it. The government then looks over those proposals and they say, oh, that's great, we're gonna pick the one that has the best value and also the best technical capability that shows that, yeah, these guys can really do it, and they've written it out so they can we are confident they can do the work, and they award that contract to a private company like ours to execute. And normally, most of these contracts are either 3-4 year contracts. So they give a first year, and then they have options to allow to continue the work. So most government contracts are between 4 and 5 years for a company. So Global Resource Solutions, again, started off when our owner left the Pentagon and the Department of Defense. And he did exactly that. He registered his business and he submitted paperwork and proposals for opportunities at the Defense Intelligence Agency. So there's different agencies within the Department of Defense. One of those is the Defense Intelligence Agency. We provide intelligence for the military. So just like the CIA, just like a couple of the other NSA companies, our main focus area was providing contracts and people to provide support for the Defense Intelligence Agency, because they didn't have the capability or the know-how or the people to do what they wanted to get done. So rather than trying to go hire government people to come in, they contracted out. They gave it to a private company to do that. So that's how we got started. And we got started about 20 years back. And I joined about 10 years in. And as part of that, we've been quite successful. We have, over 400 employees across the United States. We do support the Air Force at the Department of Defense. We provide support for the Defense Homeland Security. We provide support for FDIC, for the Marine Corps. And in the past, we've worked with the Social Security Administration, as well as Coast Guard. And one of our larger contracts now is we provide support for the Arlington National Cemetery, which is under the Army. So if you ever come down to Washington, D.C., and you ever go to Arlington National Cemetery where they bury our soldiers, 90% of that workforce that's at Arlington is a GRS employee, and we are a proud Southern University alumni company. So we make sure that, the blue is not the Southern blue, but we try to get as much blue as we can into our company and our people. Now, Global Resource Solutions, as part of that, we have this program called the Mentor Protege Program, and that's where I run. And what our program is we want to build up and help partner companies do that. It's part of our effort to give back to the community, as well as build the next level workforce, as well as eventually the next entrepreneur, the next business owner. So my program is steadily built on trying to build the next generation. So this internship program is really about building the next generation. We didn't want to do an internship program where you guys are just, copy pasting or trying to run around an office, because that's boring. And I'll tell you that was when I first started working, the first thing, filing, making copies, that was the worst thing. I hated that. But I'll tell you, it gave me some basics, but that's not what we're trying to do here. So in front of you, and Ted will share more about it, but our program is very simple. My program is about, first, we're going to give you some training. So it's online, virtual. You guys have a chance to go online and learn at your own pace. But basically, it'll teach you what a government proposal looks like. What is it the government is looking for? So it'll teach you how to read all these opportunities that the government puts out. So first, we're going to teach you what a government proposal looks like. Then we're going to teach you about how to read it. And the government does make it easy. So there's actually a website where they put out every single thing that they buy. And it's called sam.gov, and there's information on your sheet, or Ted will provide more for you. And when you go on that, you can actually search all the opportunities nationwide throughout the United States as a whole. So what we want you to do is first learn how to read and look at government contracts. We want you to learn what it's like to, and what are the components of that. And then the end result of this is to search and look for an opportunity that you think would be good for our company based on all the capabilities that we have. And we want you to present to us and say, hey, this is what we found, or this is what I found that I think might be a good opportunity for your company, GRS, to go after. And that's the capstone project. And at the end, we're going to obviously provide a letter of recommendation from our company as well as our partner company. I'll provide a resume template so that what you learn, you can actually go out there and apply for other positions, because throughout the United States, there's hundreds of companies like ours that hire what we call business development personnel. And that means there are guys that are looking out for opportunities that can win, that a company can win. So their entire job is to look out for opportunities that are out there within the Department of Defense and the federal government. And it's a great career. You know, over the years, there's not many, and there's not many that know your skill set. And you'll be surprised. I speak to small businesses throughout the United States, and they're learning what you guys are going to learn right now in college. Literally, the owners are trying to figure out, where can I go to find business with the federal government? How do I look at these opportunities that the federal government puts out? So we're gonna do that through this internship program, so that once you come out of this, you're gonna be smarter than probably 50% of the small business owners that I meet all the time. It's a great opportunity. You can work from wherever. I encourage you, once you graduate, you know, take this skill set with you, move to a city, you know, put it to use. You can start your own company with this and see if there's opportunity for you to submit a proposal yourself and say, hey, you know what, I do cybersecurity, or I do education planning, or I'm a business, I want to build a business myself. So what this gives you is that opportunity, because there's so much stuff. The government buys everything from human resources, education training, program management, accounting, human resources. They buy everything. They will buy your services. And it's a great future. We have, you know, 400 employees across the United States, but we are also in 7 different countries for the Air Force. We are mainly in Jordan, Chile, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and we are now moving to Poland as well for the Ukrainian front. And we have been working with it. And our guys are the ones that provide the communication equipment. So the government said, look, we don't have personnel that knows how to do this. So we bid on that contract. So our guys go in, and we're the ones that actually put in the units and code it, so that our partner country can speak to our military back in the United States. So we secure that communication. We also do penetration testing for the Air Force, and we do ethical hacking, which means we want to make sure that we can go after the bad guys the same way they come after us, online though. And we provide personnel security as well. So that's our gamut. But over the years, you know, we've been in business for 20 years. We've done human resource planning, program management, project management, and we do it across, one of our SSA contracts was across the United States. And we are as far flung as Hawaii, Alaska, and our next opportunity will be in Guam, for the next front, which is the current situation in China and Taiwan. Now, I want to open this up for questions, but feel free. You can always email. My Ted has my contact information. So this is really hands-on, guys. It's not like I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you. I love coming down to Baton Rouge. I come to the Bayou Classic for the last 10 years. Every year. I try to come to homecoming every now and then, but I'm sure, Ted, you'll get me down there one day and we'll meet everybody face to face. But I just want to open this up for questions, or if there's no questions, you can reach out through Ted back to me. My phone number is right there. I'm easy to access. You can call me up. And that's one of the things with this. This is not, you're not just working and trying to do this internship yourself. You can call me up and you can say, look, how do I navigate this? Or I went through this training. I didn't really understand it. Is there something else I can do? Is there something else I can watch or learn? But the videos and the links that I've sent you on that sheet are the best videos out there, and it's easy to learn. It's just the effort. When again, for the ones who just joined, I was in my 20s. I came to DC, didn't have a job, didn't know anybody. I just had enough money to pay my rent for the first month, and then I had a little bit of money to make sure I got through the 30 days before I got it. But a year and a half in, I was able to get my job in the government. And then over the last 16 years, it's been a great career, and I enjoy it. It's talking to people, trying to support the government, make sure our military is well taken care of from our side. From the civilian side, and don't listen to all the news. I know there's a lot of noise coming out about government contracting, but right now, on average, it's a couple of $1 billion worth of contracts that are put out every single month from the United States. So we hope that you guys can learn this career, the other side of business through this internship program. So Ted, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand it over back to you, just to see if you have anything else for us.
Oh, internet. Okay, but she had, our internet was stuck. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I do have a question. This is very, very good information. So my first question is the training a part of the internship, or should they complete the training before the internship starts?
No, the internship is part of the whole training. The internship is the training. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted you to go at your own pace, because a lot of this effort is not us pushing you, it's for you to push yourselves. So the training is up to you. It's at your pace, how fast you want to go through it, how fast you want to learn. And there's more training out there, but I gave you some initial ones, but that's part of the internship. I want to see your own efforts to go out and find. Please, the one with young lad with the hands up.
Make sure you introduce yourself because you weren't here.
I'm Tillman. I've got a question. I got I came a little late, but I heard you talking about like flying to Hawaii and overseas. And did you mean like they would fly us there for an internship, like that we would get an internship?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. I couldn't hear you. I think you said you came in a little bit at the end and you heard some information about work outside of the United States.
Yes, sir. He was, the question was, and he came in during the part of you mentioning your locations overseas. So his question was, he need clarification, but I think we can give it to him just in this response. He was wondering when he came in and he heard about the Hawaii, he was wondering, is that part of the internship traveling to Hawaii? Is that correct?
Yes, no, unfortunately, there is no travel to those locations because it is on military bases. And unfortunately, you have to be either former, GRS employee to come out. But in your career, depending on how you go and depending on the program management, absolutely. If you work for a company like GRS, for example, and you do program management, you can, there are opportunities where you can work anywhere out in the world.
So traditionally, when we think about internships, especially summer internships, I know we have 3 weeks left in our semester. And so would this be something that they can do for the summer as a summer internship? And is there a length of time that they need to complete this, or a timetable that makes any sense?
Absolutely. We try to get it done during the summer break so that y'all are free during June, July, August. We hope that you get it completed before the start of your next semester so that you have free time. And this is, the level of effort and the training, you can get this done in a week, or you might decide that you want to take a deep dive and really learn it, and you might take 2 months. But the pace at which you guys can do it is up to you. And that's part of the internship program. We don't want to push you. We want you all to push yourselves, because that's the only way in this environment and out there. So if you're in cybersecurity, business, trying to do business or training, all of it is self-motivated. So my limit is, of course, try to do it before the start of your next semester. But the pace and how fast you can get it done is up to you.
It's a paid internship.
That's right.
And I don't know, me and you have to discuss that offline. Have we determined how much the paid internship will be for the summer?
That's right, Ted. We have one amount that, depending on how fast you do it or how long you take, it is one amount that we send over to the center and the capstone project. So once you complete it, once you finish the capstone project, you'll receive that funding through. And we can definitely talk, Ted, about that offline, about the amounts and how to break that out.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So as far as it being a paid internship, will that money be sent as it all be split between us, or will it be individual amounts?
So the total amount can be broken up. So depending on how many students have joined, it's up to Ted to break it up among all of you for it. Yes, sir.
Question, my name is DeAndre Manuel. Is this internship meant for like engineering students as well?
Absolutely. That's the great thing about this program. I'm not holding everybody, whether you do cyber or engineering or math or science. This is across the board, because for example, you might go through this training online yourself and then decide, let me go and see what engineering contracts are coming out from the federal government. And you might decide, this looks interesting. This will be the presentation that I make and say, hey guys, have you looked at this particular opportunity? Or let's say you're doing cybersecurity. You might be looking for cybersecurity opportunities, because I want you guys to learn what the government is buying. So you might come out and say, look, there's a cybersecurity opportunity here that I think would be because I read what your company does, and here's what I think you guys should go after. So the gamut is quite large. It can be training. You can go after and find human, business training opportunities, which are out there as well. And you can say, hey, look, there's this training opportunity that the government is saying that we want you guys to come in and train us on doing this particular piece of work. So it is open, absolutely.
So to make sure that we're all on the same page and we're understanding, because this is really, really good information. So the internship includes going through the training and learning about government contracts, and then finding contracts that will specifically benefit GRS and then presenting the contracts
That's
at the
exactly
end?
right.
Okay, so as many contracts as they find towards the end of the semester, I'm sorry, towards the end of the internships, will they present it as an email? Will they present it as a presentation? How will they need to present that to you all?
Absolutely. So it'll be 7 slides maximum that you have to present, and that's what I want to do is for you to formally present, like an environment like this. Everybody comes in front, goes through their PowerPoint slide deck, and says, "This is the opportunity that I found. This is what that opportunity is about. This is what the government is buying, and this is what we plan to use. This is what I feel would be beneficial." So you gather all the information and you present it and you say, this is what I think would be a good opportunity. And what you guys will be doing is what our current guys like me and everybody else at the company, what business development is. So you'll actually be doing what we do as a job. Go ahead. I see your hand up.
So I have a question. So as far as the presenting, presentations and stuff like that, is there any way we can also work in teams also and present as a team, or is it an individual, presentation?
I love that. I love that question. And absolutely, it is an individual and team function. So if you decide you want to work with somebody, you guys can talk about it and say, look, here's something that I found, and you can talk about it, because we do that. And that in real life, that happens all the time. Me and my counterpart, my director for cybersecurity, for example, him and me speak and look at opportunities together. We read through it. And when we present, one of us takes the lead and says, this is an opportunity that we think we should follow through as a company. So it's great that you asked that question. Absolutely. It's part of this whole learning process is that. And there are BD guys that'll do it by themselves. They'll say, no, I don't need a team. I'll go find it myself and go after it. And that's fine as well. But for us, it's more about you going through the process. And there is, and because you guys are just starting out, we're not expecting you to find gold here, but you might be surprised. You might find something that we might go after, and that might be something, that's a different topic and a conversation altogether.
Very, very, very good. Any other questions? Any other questions? Let me ask you this too, because this is the Academy of Excellence here. That we hear. So I guess when it's time for them to make their presentation, of course, it will be virtual presentations. Would you prefer for them, and I guess if we're doing it via Zoom, I guess they can technically log in on Zoom and present it via whatever the virtual, and so they don't necessarily have to stand up. They can just present it, have the PowerPoint on the screen and present it to you.
That's exactly right. Exactly. This is, not a formal skill set. We want you to learn. So I want you to practice how to present as well. And there's YouTube videos out there about that. But absolutely, you can YouTube in or Zoom in and have your PowerPoint set up and go through the PowerPoint and say, this is for every opportunity. There are about 6-7 slides that I'd like. But yeah, you go through it and present, here's what we found. Here's what we think it's good. But it takes time. And that's what I want you to do. Take your time to look after these opportunities, read through them, because there's so many out there. So when you're presenting, we want you to know what it is that they're doing. And I will ask Q&A. I'll ask you basics about that opportunity, because I want to see whether you read it, you understood it, the same way that our company does. We will all get together just like y'all. We'll be in a conference room. One of us will present and say, look, this is an opportunity that I'm going after. And there'll be conversations, and they'll be asking questions about, well, how many people are they hiring? How many full-time employees is this opportunity? Where is the opportunity? What's the agency? What does that agency buy? What does that department buy within that agency? Do we know who the person is that's buying it? Who's in charge of this opportunity? Things like that. And that's why, Ted, I want to make this so that you guys are not in a silo and then you guys have to come in and present. Want to make it more interactive. So when you have questions, when you're going through it, you can actually maybe even consolidate, send it to Ted. And Ted, you can send it to me. Send those questions as you're working through it so that I can respond back with those answers in written form so that you guys have guidance as you're going through it.
Also, do they, when they're looking through all of the government contracts, is the goal to narrow it down to one that they focus on and do the presentation on? Or would you want them to find several? Is it a minimum or a maximum? So what is the idea? Is it just for them to narrow down to one contract and thoroughly understand it and read it and present it?
I want to, so what I would like to do is ideally a minimum of 2, but no more than 4. Because then it gets a little bit too much. It's too much. Even for us, we have a pipeline of opportunities that we have built over, but on average, per year, we probably pull out between 4 of our directors, including myself. We might have 20 to 30 opportunities between us, but that's because we're experienced and that's what we do as a job. But no more than 4, a minimum of 2.
And whatever they decide, based on what you're saying, they need to really understand it. So let me ask you this. So if they decide that they want to team up, is it that still minimum of 2 to 4 if they decide to team up as a group?
Absolutely. So if you decide to team up and as a group, depending on how many people that are there, I'm looking, just around the room, let's say there's 5 right now. At minimum, there should be 10 opportunities between the 5 of y'all. At
Gotcha. So
minimum.
that's like a 2 apiece. That makes sense. Okay. I know I'm asking all the questions, cause. Brother, Sheehan and I, we're gonna be working together. And the reason I'm asking these questions, because they've already given me the money and it's in my account. Okay. And I don't wanna release it yet, but I'm going to. So this is really, really a great opportunity. And Brother Sheehan. I definitely, once we finish it, I do want to talk to you offline if you have any time today. If you don't have any time today, I guess we can schedule something for next week.
Oh no, you have my cell phone, Ted. You can call me right up, right after this, I'm gonna go into one more meeting, but in an hour after that, I'll be free. So just give me a call and we'll chat. And
yes.
and remember, guys, Ted has my phone number. I want y'all to call me. It's not a bother. That's part of the process. So you might be going through the training and you might have more questions. You can consolidate it with Ted, and send it over, or you can call us as well. But go ahead. I see your hand up.
Next question. You say that, we should have 10, contracts between the 5 of us. I got one good question. If we do one presentation, like all 5 of us in one group, so would the presentation be more than 7 slides? So it'll be like 7 slides between all 5 of us?
No, it'll be one opportunity would have about 7 slides. So
Okay.
one opportunity would have 7 slides because one opportunity would be broken over 7 slides because there's information that you have to present in each slide about that one opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna work with y'all because I do have a recommendation on that as it relates to that, but we can talk offline.
Oh yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, brother, Sheehan,
Yes, sir.
we're picture, because this is a part of our mentorship session. And so we're gonna have the students to stand next to the camera. I'm gonna start standing next to the screen, and you're not gonna see him, but I'm gonna see this picture. And this lady, and we're gonna actually create an e-blast that we're gonna send out so they can see that we're, have a potential opportunity. Okay, so what we're gonna do is you are gonna have to have, some of you are gonna have to be to the left of the screen. Keep going. Some of you. You may have to move that up. Okay, so let's do this. Brother Cam, why don't you get in front of Brother Tillman and Brother, okay. Okay, now you need to scoot back over. We still need to see Brother Sheehan. Okay, so, and I'm gonna send this to you so you can, have some bragging rights. Okay.
That'll be brilliant. Y'all looking too good over there.
Okay, I'm about to move some of these coffee cups out the way.
Mr. Scott, I think we should keep this information in this room.
Oh, no, that's what's gonna happen.
Thank you. You got the same.
No, it's fine.
I think a lot of.
Yeah, don't get me started. I'm gonna have to wait until we have company. Till we don't have company. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Hold on. 3, 2, and 1. So let's get Brother Sheehan.
Thank you, guys. And before you leave, I want to show you my background, okay? So when you have a chance, just look at the camera. You see that background? You see those awards that are sitting there? Not the pears, not the fruit, but just the awards. So that is 4 awards that we have won alongside Southern University from the Department of Defense for our program called the Mentor Protege Program. So the Department of Defense gives out one of these awards every year, and we have won 3 through the Defense Intelligence Agency, and we have 1 through the Air Force. And we are last year, we are one of a few, maybe 3, 4 winners that got this award for the Mentor Protege Program. But this is a great chance, and for Southern, we celebrate this because Southern University is our partner. So when we see that award, Southern University has one sitting over there in Baton Rouge, Suno, and Shreveport.
All right, thank you, sir, and you have an awesome day. Thank you
guys
so
too.
much.
Have a good one. Ted, I'll call me in about an hour. We're good.
I will.
All
All
right.
right, thank you.
Have a good one, guys.